thing which we need to know, right? So before going to that, these phalangeal arches, in the mesoderm of these phalangeal arches, what happens is like in the 5th week of development, basically three structures will develop in the mesoderm of each phalangeal arch. Those three structures are, the lateral one will be here, the structure which is developing here will be one structure called as one yellow in color. What it should be? No, very good. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 nerves are developed. I will write here, or I will draw the same thing here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? So 5 nerves are developed on each side, and also immediately on the medial side there is another structure which is developing, which is red in color. Arteries. So these are the arteries which are developing for all the 5 phalangeal arches. On the medial side, I am just drawing these arteries, and these are the arteries, right? And also along with this, some other structure is also developing, which is blue in color. Okay, cartilage. Okay, so that is the cartilage. So hyaline cartilage. So the third structure which is developing is another one in blue in color called as the cartilage, right? So I just keep all the cartilages here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1. So in this way, after the formation of the pharyngeal structures, now 3 structures are developed in each pharyngeal arch, right? They will ask what the pharyngeal, I will write it here, named as one of the nerve. This is the nerve of the arch, and this is the artery. And also the blue one especially, I tell you, this is the cartilage. These nerves of each pharyngeal arch are, I just wanted to label them here. The first pharyngeal arch, the nerve of the first pharyngeal arch is nothing but the 5th cranial nerve. What is that? The trigeminal nerve, right? Now the second pharyngeal arch has its nerve called as the 7th cranial nerve, called as the facial nerve. The third pharyngeal arch has its nerve called as the 9th cranial nerve, named as the glossopharyngeal nerve. And now the 4th pharyngeal arch will also have its own nerve called as the 10th cranial nerve, named as the vagus nerve. Now coming to the 6th pharyngeal arch, it is also having its own nerve by name recurrent. What is that? Recurrent clavicle nerve, which is nothing but a branch of the vagus nerve. That is the 10th cranial nerve. So in this way, each arch has developed its own nerve. Each arch has developed its own nerve like this, right? And now, take it, right? Now these arches started, after 5th week they started growing. So while they are growing, the arches had some competition of growth. So one wanted to grow more than other. So in this way, once they started growing, how they appear in the bite, like 6th week is like, once they start growing, they appear like this. So this is how they appear. This is the first pharyngeal arch. Now you can see, this is the second pharyngeal arch. Oh, it's going somewhere. Second pharyngeal arch. It went somewhere, and now this is the third pharyngeal arch, 4th pharyngeal arch, and the 6th pharyngeal arch. This is how it formed. Right? Now I just wanted to come to the same thing on the opposite side by drawing this. See, this is the first pharyngeal arch on the medial side. Right? See how it is forming. So it came like this, and again now it is going up. This is the second pharyngeal arch, the third pharyngeal arch, the 4th pharyngeal arch, and now finally the 6th pharyngeal arch. So this is how the pharyngeal arches have grown finally, which means that they are asymmetrical. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
They are not symmetrical, they are asymmetrical. Now I will label all the structures which are going to develop from these pharyngeal arches. If you look at the first pharyngeal arch, it's very quite interesting. And this cavity, right? This cleft, whatever cleft was there here, the first pharyngeal cleft what you see here, this has now developed into the structure in the head and neck called as What is this? External auditory meatus. So the first pharyngeal cleft is developing into the external auditory meatus, right? Now on the opposite side, groove is there, right? First pharyngeal groove. The first pharyngeal groove, what you are seeing, it is now going to develop into this cavity, tympanic cavity, otherwise called as what? The middle ear. So outside cleft is developing into external ear. On the inside, the groove is developing into, that is the middle ear, right? Now, but there is some tube in our head which is connecting the ear to the throat. And this small narrowing of their space is there in this groove. This space, what you are seeing, I will just draw a line. This will develop into the eustachian tube. So now, from here, brain is there, okay. That will connect to the inner ear. But there is something missing. External ear is there, middle ear is there, but something should be there in between.
Eardrum. Inner ear.
Eardrum. That is called as what? The tympanic membrane. So, whatever arch is left in between this thin layer of the arch, this thin layer of the arch will develop into the tympanic membrane. Okay? This will develop into the tympanic membrane. Clear? Now, the second arch ate lot of biryanis and it has grown so large that it has covered the third and fourth arches. As a result, now you can see a big sinus is formed here instead of cleft, and this big sinus will develop into the cervical sinus, where other structures will develop. I'll tell you later. This develops into the cervical sinus, right? So in this way, the cervical clefts have developed into the external auditory meatus and also the cervical sinus. But on the opposite side, inside, first groove, that is the first pouch, has developed into the middle ear and also the eustachian tube. What about the second groove? This second groove was developing, but it did not have any special characteristics. So then what it has done is like, it has shared some special characteristic feature with the third pouch. That is, in between the second, that is between the second and the third pharengeal arches, that is the second pouch. In the second pouch, you will be seeing a new structure which is developing. I will use red color. You will be seeing a new structure which is developing in between these two arches. That is in the second pharyngeal pouch. So this structure which is developing in the second pharyngeal pouch is called as the, what is this? They develop into the palatine tonsils, right? Now, the thing is like, already in the last diagram I said that this middle region will develop into what? Tongue. Hypobronchial eminence, I told you, right? So on either side of the tongue, now you can see the development of palatine tonsils. Clear? And now, this third pharyngeal pouch which is there, this third pharyngeal pouch will expand dorsally and ventrally. In the same way, the fourth pharyngeal pouch also will expand dorsally and ventrally. So I am just going to show you that dorsal and ventral expansions. This is the dorsal expansion of the third pharyngeal pouch, like this. This is the dorsal expansion of the third pharyngeal pouch, and this is the dorsal expansion of the fourth pharyngeal pouch, right? And I will also keep the ventral expansion of the third pharyngeal pouch. I will use better yellow color. This is the ventral expansion of the third pharyngeal pouch, and this is also the ventral expansion of the third pharyngeal pouch. So in this way, fourth pharyngeal pouch. So in this way, the third and fourth pharyngeal pouches have expanded dorsally and ventrally. Now coming to the labeling. This dorsal expansion of the MCQs, the dorsal expansion of the third pharyngeal pouch will develop the inferior parathyroid gland, while the ventral expansion of the third pharyngeal pouch will develop into the another gland called as thymus gland. Now coming to the dorsal expansion of the fourth pouch of the pharyngeal arches. This fourth pouch now it will develop into what? Superior parapod. Now realize the ventral expansion of this is the most important one. Ventral expansion of the fourth pharyngeal pouch will develop into a body called as ultimobronchial body. This is a 3 marks question for them. They will simply ask you that ultimobronchial body as a 3 marks question. So what is an ultimobronchial body? It is developed from the ventral expansion of the fourth pharyngeal pouch. Am I correct? Fourth pharyngeal pouch, right? And this ultimobronchial body will finally form the this one. What is that? Finally, it forms the parafollicular cells of thyroid gland. So, in this way, the pharyngeal arches and the pharyngeal pouches will develop various structures, right? Now, finally, just before closing this class, I wanted to tell you something special about this pharyngeal arch system. Already, you understood what is the system. You are seeing the nerves. You are seeing the structures which are developing. Am I correct? You are seeing various structures. Now, at the same time, along with this, these arches also they generate or they produce different structures which are very important for us. Namely, those structures are nothing but each arch gives what? Muscular derivatives and skeletal derivatives. Right? So what are these muscular derivatives and the skeletal derivatives? We will see. Now, coming to the first pharyngeal arch. First pharyngeal arch, trigeminal nerve, right? So this first pharyngeal trigeminal nerve, you always should remember something. Jaw. Jaw means what? Maxilla or mandible? Mandible, right? So I will write here now. The first arch derivatives are nothing but the muscles of mastication. Along with the muscles of mastication, it also gives rise to the posterior belly of digastric muscle. It also gives the posterior belly of digastric. Along with this, the skeletal derivatives of the first pharyngeal arch are, you can see the important bones, two bones called as what? Maxilla and the mandible, which are developing from there. And also along with this, something also must develop, because the first pharyngeal cleft and the pouch are showing something which are related to the ear, right? So you know very well that there are three important bones in the middle ear, namely the malleus and the incus, only incus, right? So the malleus and the incus, right? These are the two structures which develop from these are the skeletal derivatives which are coming from the first pharyngeal arch, right? Now coming to the second pharyngeal arch, which is supplied by the facial nerve. The name itself is saying that facial nerve. I am a facial nerve, so it derives what? Facial, all the facial muscles. Along with this, it also develops the spinopharyngeus. It also develops the posterior belly of digastric. Okay? It also develops the anterior, sorry, I'm confusing myself. Anterior belly. This was the posterior, right? So it also develops the anterior belly of the digastric. So the second pharyngeal arch basically produces all the muscles of facial expression and also the anterior belly of the digastric. Now coming to the skeletal derivatives. The important skeletal derivatives of this facial nerve are, now you can see, that is the stapes, right? And now we can see the styloid process. Okay, this is the styloid process, and also the lesser horn of thyroid bone. It also forms the lesser horn of thyroid. these are the skeletal derivatives of the second phalangeal arch. Now coming to the muscular derivative of third phalangeal arch, that is nothing but the glossopharyngeal nerve. Basically, it produces the stylopharyngeus muscle, and the skeletal derivatives are nothing but this is a lesser one. So the rest of the hyoid bone, that is the greater horn of the hyoid bone, is formed, and also along with this, the body of the hyoid bone is also formed. Right? Now coming to the fourth, this is the third, right? And coming to the fourth pharyngeal arch. Fourth pharyngeal arch, nothing but the what? Vagus nerve. Vagus nerve in the head and neck is basically related to something. How I am shouting? Very good. That is nothing but it is responsible for the production of pharyngeal muscles and laryngeal muscles. And basically, the skeletal derivatives of the fourth phalangeal arch will be all the laryngeal cartilages. So these laryngeal cartilages are will develop from this fourth phalangeal arch. Now the last arch called as the sixth phalangeal arch, right? By this time you might have got a doubt. You should get a doubt. Both are being supplied by the same nerve. So definitely the sixth arch also should produce something which is related to the pharynx and larynx, right? So henceforth the sixth phalangeal arch is also involved in the production of laryngeal muscles. Laryngeal muscles. See, what is this? Except, right? Except cricothyroid muscle. So the only reason, again MCQ, the only muscle which is not produced from the sixth pharyngeal arch is cricothyroid muscle. But coming to the skeletal derivatives, the skeletal derivatives of the sixth pharyngeal arch are, I will just simply write it as uniforms, arytenoid cartilages, and corniculate cartilages. So these are all the cartilages which are skeletal derivatives of the sixth phalangeal arch. So now in a nutshell you can clearly see, it's very easy to understand. I am just writing here. Got it, right? So now you can see the cranial nerve of the first phalangeal arch is what? The trigeminal nerve, which is having the muscular derivatives and the skeletal derivatives. In the same way, you can see all these arches, right? Along with its nerves and also the derivatives. This is all about the pharyngeal pouches, which is a very important 6 marks question for you in the exam, right? So this I hope you understood what is how we are developing, right? Right? Especially you have to draw those two. These two diagrams you need not draw. Meek ardham avvalani cheppesi I have just drawn these things, but those two diagrams are very important for you. Fine? Understood? Yeah. So your exams are coming near, right? Not internals, even the externals are. Your final exams are going to come. So you will be, I think most probably you will be having your final exams in August last